Okay. Nice. And I'm live. Wow. It's almost like you just saw me 3 seconds ago. I'm about to change the title on this last live before I forget. And I know what I'm going to do now. Oh, I need to charge this phone. And I already grabbed the charger. Here it is. I was like, but where just put it? So I have two decks on the table. I'm going to be using the Pride Tarot and the Spirit Keepers Tarot. And basically, I'm going to just like word out between the two. And I'll say on the SKT side, the influence over here is going to be more crown to heart focused. And then on the Pride Tarot side, it's going to be more heart to root focused. Right, they meet at the heart. So hopefully there'll be a certain amount of collaboration. And I titled this and because I'm trying to get away from that versus word because I really don't like it. I understand the energy of it and the necessity of it when it is necessary to express what it is that needs to be expressed. But at the same time, I'd rather come to a space where there are some things that, like if I'm not intending what the word intends, I don't want to use the word. Simple. Ooh. I never know what to title these, and sometimes the title is like fairly relevant. Sometimes it ain't because I'm just like, what is the title gonna do for the message? You know, the title don't change the message. The message is the message. The title is the thing that gets the fish to come to the spot where you can catch them, right? It's like SpongeBob and Patrick playing on the hooks. Then you get deep fried and slapped with a side of tartar sauce. Plus, like I said in the previous video, I'm not necessarily trying to be whatever. I just had this rose quartz just like straight up chilling here with me. Ooh. Wow. I'm really feeling that today. Okay, that's a lot. When I first picked it up out of the box, I didn't necessarily feel it like that. And it's just been chilling on my space for the past few days now, I guess. But when I picked it up today, it like hit me. I'm like, oof. But again, I guess it is reflective and indicative of the space that I'm in. So who wants to start first? We're going to start on the right. New decks first. I'm going to give this 3 shuffle cut things. We're going to start with the Page of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. There we go. Again, this is the Pride Tarot. The Pride Tarot is a collaborative deck featuring illustrators, creators, and friends of the LGBTQ plus community and their allies, right? Cutting to the Knight of Swords and this King of Pentacles. And then it'll be one more after this. Oh, that was a bad shuffle. But what is good? What is bad? That shuffle was what it was because the cards will be in the space that they need to be in. And then the 7 of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. 7 of Pentacles, shout out to the 7 chakras. But we're using, this will be focused on the lower 3 and the 4th. And then I'll give this one more of these. You're done. Bottom of this deck is Judgment. Ooh, I love that energy. Okay. The Reckoning. The Reconcile. It's like we're going through spiritual stock, and I'll give this 3 as well. Cutting to the Corruptor and the Kindred, the 7 and the 3 of chalices, giving us 10 chalices, the joyous one. Oh, but don't like how we got to that 10, but it's fine. I won't say anything, I guess. And then the Seeker and the Holy See, of course, because that Holy See Hierophant energy, I never used to see it that much in this deck until I started doing those daily bites. But it makes sense for the times and the space that we're in. And then the last one is going to be the Champion and the Scarlet Shield. Yes! Okay. That's the Queen of Swords. So the Ebony Shield is the Queen of Pentacles. The Ivory Shield is the Queen of Cups. The Scarlet Shield is the Queen of Swords. And the Golden Shield is the Queen of Wands. And it's not that hard to remember. So left one goes first. And it's going to be war styled. And so I'm going to pull out 3 cards, flip over the 4th card. I'm comparing the numbers on the cards. Majors all have the same energy. Kings and queens have the same. And so it's like, and aces are, ooh, I didn't clarify whether or not aces were high or low last time. Aces are low because I have a page, right? So the page would be the high ace, and then the ace is the low ace. Okay, so yeah, aces are low. Then 1 through 10. Pages and aces sit at the same energy. And so, like, if I get an ace on one side and a page on the other side, even though the page is high and the ace is low, the page and the ace will read as the same. And so then it'll go that, and then the knight beats the page, and then the king and the queen beat everything before them in their suit, but they sit at the same place. And all of the majors occupy the same space. I don't do it by number. And then I just deal off the top, and that's how I do this. And so we're going to see, man, am I going to do this whole thing? I'm going to do it for as long as I feel like it, I guess. And then we'll see where it ends up. So again, the Pride Tarot is going to be heart, solar plexus, sacral, and root. Basically the stuff that we take care of. Hey, Zelda. You're here for this and LOL. So this will be heart, sacral, and root. And basically like the things that are more in our ability to understand and control and influence, right? And then the SKT will be, this is plugged up. Yeah, it is. Okay. The SKT will be the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And those are more of the higher insights, but we all have hearts, rather if they're activated or unactivated. That's not my business. And that's the things, right? And so a lot of the times the goal and the focus is for these to be a sort of semi cohesive story, but sometimes energetically things can seem to be extremely removed from the way they manifest because of the channels that they run through. And so I'm not going to say they're necessarily always the same. It could be the case where it's like you had this energy opposing something, or you had this energy trying to come in and you're opposing that. And then we just see how they interact. At least that's the intention. We'll see what actually happens, right? And so I'll do 1, 2, 3. Oof. I need more space. 4. Oh my gosh. It's this 9 of Swords. This 9 of Swords came out again. I don't know why the 9 of Swords just decided to keep popping out of this deck. Why? Why? Okay. So usually I use the same deck when I do this. And so I stack them up, and then I go through a sort of overall on both sides by the end of the day. But I'm not going to do that here because I don't have the space, and we'll see what I feel like, actually. So this is 9 of Swords, man. Let's see what's coming out. And then I'm going to see. So I'll pull the first cards face down, pull the fourth card face up, and then I compare, right? I see who wins it first, and then I flip over the cards to see what clarifies the story behind the message. Right? Excuse me. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Oh, goodness. Okay. So we have the politic, 3 of scepters, and this 9 of swords. I guess I will read the entry for all of these, for at least on the Pride Tarot side, on the Pride Tarot side, because um, this is a collaborative deck, like I said, and so each artist also includes their interpretation. And there are some very, very beautiful ways that some of these cards are interpreted that I have never seen them interpreted before, and I love it. And also, since this is community focused, some of the cards pay homage to certain folks, and so I just like to honor the illustrators individually. That's how I felt that I'm supposed to interact with this deck the times that I do, and so I do, right? Let me get into this 9 of swords. So the 9 is going to beat the 3, unfortunately. So really quick, I have read the 3. I've read the politic in this deck before, and the politic is all about these 3 magi, right, coming together to get some kind of prophecy on how to move forward. And so in this deck, the 3 of Wands holds this energy of like, we've done everything that we can on our side, and now we need some further information, right? We need to know what to go, where we need to know where to go, what to do, because we've kind of sort of exhausted our resources. And then you have this 9 of swords. So this is very, I can see where these sort of intersect, right? Especially with the story I just told of like, you've exhausted your resources, you've done everything that you know how to do, and now you don't know what else to do. And so you're in this 9 of swords spot, racking your brain, potentially when you shouldn't be, because I feel like there's this subtle influence with with the politic over here that like, once you make the prayer, it's like you set it and forget it, right? Allow it to come to you. But, we'll see. So this 9 of swords, illustrated by Christine Zillick. Ooh, fear has many faces: existential fears, anguish, fear of loss. Events that have burrowed deep into our soul can trigger fears. The effect on the body and mind can have devastating consequences. This state is often accompanied by doubts, despair, and insomnia. In my vision, I have again used images of nature to suggest emotions. In this dark forest scene, 9 dead tree stumps create an eerie night mood. A woman is leaning against one of these trees, wearing a nightgown and holding a light blanket. Sleepless and plagued by worry, she appears like a ghost, sleepwalking in this desolate forest with its decaying plants in the undergrowth. The fear has gripped her so strong that she seems to dissolve. This confrontation with fear enables the release of negative energies. I deliberately chose this card because I am very involved with fear and panic in my work with horses. So shout out to horses. I don't know, maybe horses are a spirit sort of animal for you, spirit guide. Oh, a gala. Is it gala or gala? That's what I want to know. Okay, so yeah, but there's an element. Oh, okay. So like, there's an element of confrontation over here, but maybe someone isn't confronting their fear, and it's like, since you're not confronting your fear, the nightmare continues, right? Now let's see what this fear is about. Am I gonna do it that way today? No. Okay. All right. I'll just flip these over. So the first card is, I'm gonna look at it first. The 9 of Wands, because I can't read it in this. This quality is this quality. The 9 of Wands, the 2 of Pentacles. I love the 2 of Pentacles in this deck, by the way. The 9 of Wands, the 2 of Pentacles, and the Death card. So yeah, something definitely needs to transform, but I feel like you're fighting this transformation because of what it gives you or because of what it gave you. And then I end up flipping them anyway. So now death is leading the charge, but death is facing back on this Two of Pentacles and this Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is a very defensive energy, but I actually want to read that Nine of Wands to see what that's about. So we got two nines, the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Swords. Couldn't get a happy nine, right? Because, I mean, if it was a happy nine, well, I'll take that back. Because sometimes happiness can be, I've read this before, I believe. Nine of Wands, and I butcher some of these people's names. I'm sure like ain't none of y'all gonna see this, but if word gets back that I mispronounced your name, I am so sorry because I don't like doing that. Ense, Entze, Ense. The Nine of Wands represents resilience, courage, and strength. This card symbolizes the ability to overcome adversity through determination and will. Using a color palette inspired by the trans flag, I chose to depict a Black Indigenous person of color, trans individual looking strong, confident, and confident despite being wounded in the middle of a storm. As a trans and non binary person of color myself, the author, we face a constant slew of challenges simply existing and having to fight for our rights and safety on a daily basis. It is without a doubt exhausting, and sometimes we feel like breaking down, but we will keep fighting. This card is a sign of hope and encouragement that you will overcome any difficulty you encounter and continue to get stronger, and it is why I chose this card. Oh, I see. It's like I read the whole thing. I hear something good, and then I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna start stopping when I hear something good because I do want to honor the full entry, but then I lose it, and then I'm like, I gotta reread it. The strength and the will to overcome this challenge with this Nine of Swords, I feel like there's just a lack of strength to actually overcome whatever this is. And again, this is heart down, right? And so above, I haven't read it yet, but above, this could look very different. But we're dealing with your foundation and we're dealing with your mind in the creative aspect, and we're dealing with the way that you do things, right? And so I feel like with this Nine of Wands, what stuck out to me is like for simply existing, there are all these challenges that you may have faced. And so these could be challenges that have come to you in a way that you aren't necessarily completely responsible for. Maybe you are responsible for it, and the simply existing is like you didn't know the repercussions of whatever you were doing. Take it as it resonates. But someone is not really finding the strength to do this on their own, and it may be because at a more foundational level, there's some discrepancy there. But then you have this Death card coming in, and this Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles in this deck is all about, it's still about juggling, but in this deck, it's effortless and it's fun, right? It's like if I like this and I like that, I'm going to find time to do this and I'm going to find time to do that. Sometimes I'm going to do this more, sometimes I'm going to do that more, right? It's a thing. And so I feel like there's whatever somebody like whatever like we know we need to give up. I feel like there's a little bit of an energy of a guilty pleasure here because there's still some enjoyment in it. And it could be just like misery loves company, right? Sometimes you get in a space where you like to be miserable. On this side, oh, the High Priestess, the Corruptor, Seven of Chalices. There we go. The High Priestess, the Corruptor, and the Shining Winds, Knight of Swords. With the High Priestess, the Corruptor, and the Shining Winds backing up this politic, and again, the politic is all about seeking higher guidance, a divine word, right? It's like, honestly, you can seek all the divine word that you want, but if you don't act on it, nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to happen. I feel like this isn't a situation where the divine is going to come down and do this for you. And with the High Priestess and the Corruptor, like, you know that this thing isn't good for you. You know why it isn't good for you. You want it out of your life, and I feel like they're giving you the opportunity maybe to put it down or to cut it out, but you're not taking it. And how I know you're not taking it in this specific situation, or how I'm feeling it, take it as it resonates, is because this Nine of Swords is going to beat this Three of Wands, right? Because the nine is greater than the three. Oh, maybe I can still do this. So the bottom is the right. The bottom is right, the top is left. Okay. And so since this side lost, this side is going to go first. Ooh. So in that situation, I feel like you already know what you should be doing, but you're just not doing it. And I can't I can't make you do anything. They can't make you do anything. I feel like there isn't really a word to offer of advice besides just like cut it out. Decide what you want more, right? And then act accordingly. Boom. Oh, okay. I don't know if this is going to be related to what just happened, but this side came out with the Reaper now. And I hope that if that, because like not all of these are going to be connected, right? Or related or the same story. At least that's not my intention, but they might. Who knows? But hopefully the thing that like you want to get rid of, but you're not, isn't, I don't think it is. Hopefully it's just not like extremely toxic and not great for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I don't know how this card ranks. I guess I'll rank it as a major because it kind of sort of is. So the Pride card came out on this side. The Pride card also sits in the space of the seven chakras in a way, right? Even though there's only six. But red is life, orange is healing, yellow is sunlight, green is nature, blue is serenity, and then purple is the spirit. Or violet. I like violet. And so I feel like we see this light, holding it like this. We see this light like that, right? Yes. Okay. Let me put my finger on it. No, it's the opposite. Okay. If it was this way, I would say that the light is diffracting into these color bands, right? But it's this way. And so I think there's this energy like something needs to be united over here that is not. Like there's a disconnect in here somewhere. And that's what this Reaper energy is going to come in and try to change. It's like there are blockages and barriers and boundaries where they don't need to be because it's at the detriment of this. Right? That's why the Reaper is coming. And I'm going to pull one more because I'm going to count both of those as majors, and majors tie. So on this side is the Three of Wands. Oh my gosh. I think this may be related to the same situation because the Three of Wands is the same as this Three of Scepters politic, right? And so, where the more spiritual side tried to come in and tried to give us the advice, offer the advice of leaving it behind and moving on, now we're in that energy over here. So, and then what's over here? Over here is the outlaw, which is the hangman. So this side is going to take it because the hangman beats. It's interesting though, because numerologically, the hangman is another 3 because it's number 12, the outlaw. So it reduces to a 3, but it's a major, so it wins. The Reaper and the hangman, 12 and 13. The 13 is going back for the 12. So whatever this was, I feel like it was definitely holding you back in some areas. And let's see what's happening on the winning side first. So the erudite, the rogue, and the joyous one. This is interesting. Excuse me. The erudite is the energy of the hermit. The rogue is the energy of the seven of swords, and the joyous one is the energy of the ten of cups. So whatever you are sabotaging is a lot. You are standing in the way of some major happiness or some major sort of fulfillment or connection. And it's interesting that, like, not only do we see the three of wands carry from the first one to the second one, but between this erudite and this, between the erudite and this high priestess or priestess, you have both eyes of God. So that's another thing that sort of carries it over, right? Because you had one eye before, and now you got both eyes. You have spirit's full attention right now. And for me as a reader, and I'm going to clarify by saying for me as a reader, because the energy that the energy that I speak isn't always the energy that is at play. And to clarify that, as an individual person, we have attention spans. And there's this difference. A window of opportunity is the same, but the attitude around that window of opportunity may be different, right? And so now I want to say, I'm not going to say I felt led to say, but I want to say that now that you have whatever creator you believe in, now that you have spirit's full attention on whatever this matter is, and I feel like there's a lot at stake, because not only did the Ten of Chalices come out, but the Seven of Swords came out at the same time. So it's like, not only do you have this very joyous, beautiful, just more like completely filling your heart to the point where you're in tears, you're so happy. But right after that comes the Seven of Swords and energy that's coming to take that away. And then you have the erudite, right? Anyway, I'm feeling like you have both eyes on you. And it's like, this is what you asked for. I'm giving you all of the opportunity to pursue this. If you don't take it now, that's on you. Like this, the window of opportunity may be closing on this opportunity. The window of opportunity may be closing around the situation, and you need to proceed accordingly. Like I said last time, like, proceed accordingly. Like, they can do so much for you, but they can't make your choices for you. At the end of the day, you still have to make your own choices, and you have to want what you actually want enough to leave the things that you don't actually want behind. And if you want to keep juggling, I feel like you're gonna miss out thinking that you got both things in hand, but then come to find out you don't have either. Right? Because in this deck, the Two of Pentacles is not concerned about whether they win or lose. It doesn't, but at the same time, like, on this side, it's more of our root, right? That could just be like toxic foundations. It could be just ways, attitudes, and beliefs that we have that keep us from really living our lives to the fullest. And so we're asking for more, and we're asking for more, and more is at our door, but we don't answer. And opportunity is not a lengthy visitor, right? How long can you leave somebody at the door and not answer the door and expect them to be there? And it's not that it's necessarily bad, it's just like there's this ability for something beautiful to be obtained in this time and place. And like I said, I don't know the grand timing of things. So I don't know when another window of opportunity will open, but why not take the one that you want while it's there? You know what I mean? Or at least that's how I feel. Now on this side is the Nine of Cups. Oh my gosh. The Ten of Wands and the Page of Wands. So with the Nine of Cups is all about wish fulfillment, and it's illustrated with the different phases of the moon here. And the moon on the illustration, or in the book, they said the moon was full in the middle, but that moon looked new to me. Like, don't it look like she holding a new moon? But maybe it ain't. Like,
It looks new. Where's the full moon? Because the full moon would be a solid white dot, unless the full moon is on our forehead and I just can't see it because it's too bright.
But we are in the space of this Taurus new moon right now. So there could be a unique opportunity presented in within the next few days or within the past few days into the next few days. Potentially. I don't know. But it's something that you actually want. But with this Ten of Wands, I feel like there's an energy of maybe you not feeling worthy of it. Because the story behind the Ten of Wands in this deck is all about someone, and again, it's someone who was ostracized. I mean, it's the LGBTQ plus deck, so there are some things that are going to run between, right? But it's someone who was ostracized just being who they were. And so, since this person never found acceptance as they were, they then, like in the story, make a trek to the gods, ask the gods why they were created that way. And then the guides basically tell them that, like, you go through these challenges because you can handle it. And the strength and the growth that you get out of overcoming these challenges, you will then be able to use as you go and help others who may not be as strong. Right. And then there's this Page of Wands here. It's about time. Right. And so, I mean, self-worth can be nasty. And with this being the Page of Wands, like the King and the Queen of Wands are all about being confident enough in who they are to go after what they want. And even the Knight of Wands, to a certain degree, is very much like that. You know, the Knight of Wands gets a bad rap for being like in and out, or for not being there for the long term. But with this being the Page of Wands, I feel like there may be some newfound confidence that you have, especially coming out of this Ten of Wands story about you questioning, like, why me? Why was I created this way? Right. Still living in this sort of like, it's not diffracted. It is diffracted. In this diffracted reality, not seeing yourself wholly and fully as you are, but seeing it's like you're seeing some aspects as ones that you like and some aspects as ones that you don't. And so, because you can't fully accept yourself as you are, you keep yourself from pursuing things that will actually benefit you. And the three themes from the lower three chakras are life, healing, and sunlight, right? And then, so nature would be the common ground because green is the heart space. And so this side is below green. And it's interesting that below green is above green. I mean, it's not interesting, but you know, so maybe you're not seeing yourself as you need to. Maybe there's some healing that you didn't do, or something about the way that you've lived life up until this point that is causing you to want something that hasn't been your experience. There's something within there that needs to shift enough for you to allow this change in an area that you've been found stagnant. And I know I rant about how much I love the energy of the hangman and the outlaw, but sometimes it is just stuck. I mean, sometimes it is stuck. And so it's like it's spirit is trying to get you to move in a way that you've been stuck. And so maybe this involves doing something completely new and you don't feel like, oh, like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I mess up? What if I do this? What if I do that? If you weren't meant to have this opportunity, it wouldn't be at your doorstep. If you weren't meant to pursue this, it wouldn't be there. Like, I would not be knocking on your door if I didn't come for you. Bloomin' Rose, hey, how are you? Is everyone I don't want to say like not hungover, but like you've had a day to recover, right? Everyone good? So yeah. And like with this Three of Wands, I feel like this isn't like this Three of Wands feels like a fool. Because I want to say with this Three of Wands, it's time to take the leap. And it's like you're not taking a leap because you already have ground beneath your feet, but it's like you don't trust the bridge that you've created to get to where you want to go. You don't trust the healing that you've done. You don't trust the growth that you've experienced to continue to carry you forward. And so that's where there's all this hesitation of like, what if I mess it up? What if I mess it up? Well, I feel like you shouldn't miss this window of opportunity. Drinking under the trees. Hey, that's what they do in Japan, right? For the sakura, for all of the blossoming festivals. Um, I know Matsuki, not Matsuki. How do you say festival in Japanese? I should know that. Yeah, it meets no Matsuki. Matsuri. That's what it is. Matsuri. Like when the cherry blossoms are in full bloom, you know, you go out, you sit under, you have your little drinks, and you appreciate the beauty of nature, and you sing and you play music. This is going to the side of the SKT. So Bloom and Rose, what I'm doing right now is basically a game of war between the upper three chakras in the heart and the lower three chakras in the heart, more or less. There's a window of opportunity that is open right now, potentially right around this new moon in Taurus. Taurus is all about our sense of self-worth. And in a way, Taurus is about manifesting and attracting things of comparable worth to what we view ourselves as, right? That's why Taurus rules comfort and it rules money and just like value in general. Excuse me. Also, like food, like things that are like taste good, feel good, comfort, right? And you have Venus ruling Taurus. And so that's why Taurus is so luxurious and abundant, is because gosh darn Mother Queen Venus knows that she's worth and worthy of only the best of the best. But like that's sort of the space that we're attracting from right now. And so somebody's self-worth may need a little bit of, and it's like you're not going to miraculously wake up with a very robust and awesome sense of self-worth overnight, but you can give yourself the chance to at least accept the things coming to you. And like, even if you have to adopt the mindset, it's kind of like a rent to own mindset, right? Even if you have to adopt the mindset that like, I'm not worth this right now, but I know that one day I will be worthy of this. I will heal into this space. And as the love continues to pour in, it will get me to where I need to be, right? Because depending on what this is, that may be the case on both sides, right? It may be like multiple sides healing into this space, or not even healing into it, but it's like it's growing into the space, right? You buy a new house and then you get the furniture and then you buy the house. I think I haven't purchased my own home yet. That is on the list of things to do. I'm not even 30 yet. So I never thought I would be in a space to be excited about turning 30 or getting older, because I used to hate, like, I didn't have Peter Pan syndrome, but like after my 11th birthday, when I realized that when you get older, you just get more responsibilities, I was like, I'm over that. I don't want responsibilities. Like, and I don't drink. I do drink, but back in the day, I didn't drink. And I was like, drinking, like, if I could have no responsibilities, I'd pass on alcohol, high key. But anyway, it's like you're going to grow into the space. A lot of times you get the furniture or you get the house before you get the furniture, right? And then it's like you may get, depending, you may choose a color for the walls before you choose the furniture because you want there to be a certain flow. Like we're talking about the energy of Taurus. So, things need to look nice. I've owned 4 homes and I'm happier in my apartment. Amen. Honestly, like I feel like I don't need a whole house. Cause low key, like if I get a whole home, then I gotta clean a whole house. Like what? Like I'd rather have enough space in my apartment and like, not have to worry about upkeeping and maintaining so much. But we'll see how I grow and evolve and change over time. But Just like, I'd rather have plastic. See, but depending on what's good for the environment, because I am becoming a little bit more conscientious. And so it's like, preferably, I'd rather like throw things away or recycle things rather than have to like wash them, but that's neither here nor there. Like, you're going to grow into this space. And I feel like there's this energy of like, there's this perception that you need to be like fully grown as you come into this space. But all that is being asked of you right now, because like this is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands came out on the other side after the Three of Wands, right? Like, we're not sitting later in the wand suit. And it's not even a Two of Wands where it's like asking you to do something completely brand new. Like, I feel like you already have exposure to this in some way. Like, you still need to go further. And some people feel the Three of Wands as like waiting for your ships to come in. And I guess that's like the energy of like, now you're just waiting for something to come in. Like, you've already gone to the harbor, you're at the dock with your ticket, just waiting for the boat. I don't necessarily feel it like that this time. Because like, even if the boat is there, even if you have the ticket, you still have to step onto the boat, right? And if you have a fear of open water, if you don't know if you're going to get seasick or not, if you're just so in your head about whether you should actually get on the boat, it doesn't matter if your ships are coming in or not, because your ship can come in and it can leave without you if you're not going to get on the boat. So I feel the energy of like waiting for your ship to come in, as in like, you've done a lot. You have the ticket, you're at the port, and you are ready to board, but you still got to get on the boat. Miss the boat if you want to. Like, I don't know if there's a flood coming in. It may be like 40 days until things dry up enough for another boat to come in, right? Miyoshi! Hey, what's up? Hi, hello, welcome. I feel like I did not give the same energy to Blooming and Zelda, and I apologize. I'm starting to get a little bit like worked up now, if you can't tell. Partially because I'm talking to myself. Um, but it's like, you can do all of that, and if you don't board, you're gonna miss it, right? And then it brings Noah's Ark to mind. And I was talking about windows of opportunity. And so it could be 40 days and 40 nights until things dry up enough for you to catch another one. And like, that could be your tears, honestly. You just like beating yourself up and so upset that you missed this boat, that you were not in a space to even attract those opportunities again until you pull yourself together enough to attract another opportunity, get another ticket, go to another port, and then wait for another boat, right? 40 minutes later. I mean, I'm only like two deep, and I feel like I've only covered one thing. So now we're going to start with this one. I am actually going to give this a shuffle because I already read the card at the bottom of the deck. And then I was like, I don't think I'm going all the way to the bottom, but I'm feeling the shuffle. So we're shuffling. And then we'll cut it in half. Boom. And we're done. All right. And then I'll do the same thing over here. Oof. I do like, though, how like, ooh, Eight of Cups at the bottom. Oh, at the bottom of the deck. I've been seeing the Eight of Cups so much. 40 must be important, or four. Oh, four people in here. Another four. I don't know. What time is it? Hey Siri, what time is it? It's 7:31 p.m. 7:31. What is that? That's a 2. 7:31 is 11. Okay, yeah, it's a 2. Like I said. All right. It is interesting though that the first time, I'm gonna say insecurity took it, but because insecurity took it the first time, Spirit is coming back with the Reaper and the Outlaw. The Reaper is coming to transform the Outlaw. Both of the eyes of God are on the situation. It's like God gave you one eye and you wasn't doing whatever. And so then he had to give you his like full attention. And he's like, okay, you have my undivided attention right now. If you pass it up this time, like I have so many other. he can do it all at once, right? Again, my perspective, but you have my full undivided attention right now. Are you really going to pass this up again? Because whenever you have the full and undivided attention of that level of power, it's like you went all the way up the chain. Like this is a make or break moment. You went all the way up the chain. You know what I mean? But anyway, 40 days and 40 nights. Missed 40 minutes. 40 seconds, 40 minutes, 40 hours, 40 days and 40 nights. Well, I guess technically if it's 40 hours, that would be like either what 39 days and 38 nights or something. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to start over here. We'll see. I think this will be something new. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What is that? Is that the Empress? It is the Empress. Wow. Okay. Wow. Oof. Alrighty. Don't know what this is going to be about. I got to go to the bathroom. I've had like 2 to 3 bottles of water. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And the 3 of Pentacles, the 3 of Orbs, the Mason. It's all about partnership. And the Mason in this deck, I'm trying to think. It's about the great work. The great work could be the thing that you were like literally down here to do. And so, again, we have 2 3s. And this is interesting because the Outlaw just came out. We had the 3 of Wands and the Outlaw that came out together, right? So we had a minor with the energy of 3 and we had a major with the energy of 3. And so here's another 33. So if you've been seeing 33 or 333 or 3333, I don't necessarily think we're continuing from what I was just talking about. I think this may be something different, or it could be related, right? I can't remember if I've read the Empress in this deck, so I'm gonna read the Empress because I want to. How's everyone doing tonight? I don't think I've asked that question. I'm such a rude host. The Empress, illustrated by Holly Sierra. I'm actually going to bring this up because I feel like sometimes there's a discrepancy and a difference when I'm like speaking where the mic can hear me and when I'm like talking down here mumbling. So, the multicultural pansgender Empress appears with arms outstretched, embracing all manner of Earth's creatures. I did read this. I read this recently. I'm pretty sure. Her youthful appearance bespeaks nature's eternal pattern of rebirth. Love and creation are her domain, and her heart is an opening to the sky, wherein resides the gentle blue path to the universe. Okay, so already we're sitting at the heart, and this is a major. So we're sitting at the top. Oh, Miyoshi, I didn't fill you in. Okay, so you're alone finally. We went to stop by and pick something up from somebody, and she was just talking about how like just like having your kids all day every day, it disrupts patterns. And then I think yesterday for me was there were like so many confirmations of so much of what I've been feeling and saying and thinking and seeing and hoping for. But one thing that came up is like, people with some of their kids, they've been in this space of like, oh, like now people are stuck at home with their bad kids and blah, blah, blah. But honestly, it's not about that. It's like, because like kids have a pattern too, right? They're used to, and then they were like, was it my mom? Because she was like, yeah, because she was talking about getting a break from the kids because they disrupt the patterns. Like, especially if you work from home and now you have to like do both, work from home and take care of your children, it can change things. And she was like, yeah, and the kids get a break from you too, like when they go to school. And so like they're missing out on their friends and they're missing out on that and all of the stimulation that they get, right? From being in different environments and talking with different people. Like they're losing out on all of that. So you'll be right back. All right, Blim and Rose, gotcha. But yeah, it was just interesting. I was like, yeah, because like, shoot, kids don't want to be stuck in the house with you either. Let me stop. Let me stop. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Nothing new here, right? Exactly. Like, ooh. Honestly, because then it would be like being on summer vacation, but your parents are home. I'm like, so like I might as well be at school. That happened one summer here. Like my mom was in between jobs, and I was like, with you being home, like I might as well be at school. Like I was a little bit older, and my summer plans had changed. I'll just say that, just in case. My summer plans changed, and I was mad because I was like, I was looking forward to this time. Hello, okay, welcome back. That was quick. All right, so I chose to illustrate the Empress card as it appeals to me as an artist and a mother. The Empress signifies a strong connection with femininity, no matter what our gender, translating as gentleness, elegance, sensuality, fertility, creative expression, and nurturing. She reminds us of the necessity for creating balance in all our pursuits. The Empress signifies abundance and indicates we'll be surrounded by life's pleasures. I embrace this card's positive message for the Pride theme because the world is becoming more open to gender issues now, and her promise is that the equality we dream of will come to fruition. The things I love about that energy is talking about. So basically, I got vibes of like, this may be an area, because again, the way I'm setting this up is this deck, like the ceiling of this deck is the heart chakra and the floor is the root. The ceiling of this deck is the crown chakra and the floor is the heart. And so I feel like we're in this space with the Empress, divine, feminine, creative mother energy, where this is an area where we are like on it. And I'm feeling that cool breeze come in. This is an area where we're on it. This is an area where I feel like we've broken, it's like we've pierced the veil. We've peeled it back a little bit. Was that my phone? Oh my gosh. It's a clear up connection. All right, Bloomin. Thank you for stopping in. It was fun. I'm glad everyone is good. And enjoy your evening, right? Kids called. Oop. Oh my gosh. They'll do it though. I mean, I'm pretty sure my mom is still annoyed. I don't know what it is about being here with her, but sometimes I just walk into her room, I look at her, and then I come back here. Or I'll be like, Mom, and then she'll be like, what? And I'll just be like, nothing. Like, I love you or something like that. I don't know. It's something about mamas. Something about, I am a mama's boy though, high key. But she'd be like, did you need anything, son? I was like, nope, I ain't need nothing. Just coming to make sure you're okay. But also at the same time, it like there'll be times when I walk by her room to go to the refrigerator or to go to the bathroom, and she'll be like, "Hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do it." 9 times out of 10, I don't have an attitude about it. Sometimes though, like especially if it's like 2 or 3 in the morning and I'm just going to the bathroom, I'm like, "Can I just go to the bathroom and then like go to sleep?" But I try to keep it under control. Anyway, getting back to this. I love this energy. I love both of these because I feel like with this card, it's saying that we are transcending kind of the soft bounds, the soft limits of what it is that we are capable of manifesting, capable of creating, and we are enlisting the aid. Not only are we going all the way up to the crown and the third eye and the throat, we are crossing the heart with this card. Blue skies, Blue skies, I'm going to say that's third eye. Well, it could also be the throat because air is communication. But with blue skies, like I feel like that's something that we see, and that sight is more third eye. Getting heavier third eye vibes, right? So not only are we doing that with this three, but with this three, we are getting the cooperation and the aid of spirit. It's like spirit is meeting us and they're helping us in the situation. So I haven't pulled any of the clarifiers yet, but I'm already excited about this energy. And also, not only are they cooperating, right? Because sometimes spirit can cooperate with you in a way that things fall apart that you thought you wanted, but the things that fell apart are falling apart for your own good. But I feel like this is favorable cooperation, right? This isn't cooperation like I asked if I was wondering if me and this person should like be together, right? And then you find out that they cheating on you and they stealing from you and they doing this to you and they doing that to you, and then you get your answer of how that person really feels about you, right? And it's like you get what you wanted, but in a way that wasn't great. Like this is like you find out that because somebody can't keep their mouth closed, somebody's like, oh yeah. Or it's like you have this friend and your friend randomly all of a sudden one day asks you what your ring size is. And you're like, wait, why are you asking me about my ring size? Is it because somebody else wants to know what my ring size is? And they're like, oh my gosh, like he's gonna propose or she's gonna propose. They may or may not propose, but you know, it's weird that someone just randomly asks you what your ring size is. Actually, I take that back because I almost threw my phone. Because I've asked, okay, we weren't dating though, but I asked one of my best friends what her ring size is because she loves rings, and it was Prime Day, and it was this pink ring that had a crown on it, and she's very that type of person, and I was like, this is perfect for you. But also, I'm a Taurus, so you know, ruled by Venus, this Empress energy is kind of sort of like in my chart, even though my Venus is in Aries and she a little dry. Or they need to use your finger because it's the closest size to the person they really want to marry. Oh, see, Miyoshi, girl, why you have to even do all that? Oh, see, I feel like that would be like the Three of Pentacles, like, and well, I don't know what that would be. That would be a trip. Oh my gosh! And then you find out that you're the side chick, and he's like, hey, like, I know we've been doing this for a minute, and we kind of feel each other, but like I got another girl and things are getting serious, so I'm gonna have to let you go. And you're like, wait, what? Like what? Oh goodness. Oh gosh. Okay. Ooh. First card clarifying this Empress is the Six of Wands. Love that. Second card is the Seven of Cups. Six of Wands, Seven of Cups. Last card is the Five of Wands. Okay. I was wondering if something sour was gonna come out. Oop. I was like, oh, nothing sour, nothing sour, nothing sour. I still feel like so the Seven of Cups in this deck, the Seven of Cups is always about dreams. But the Seven of Cups is about dreams, right? And in this deck, the Seven of Cups is the energy of pursuing your dreams regardless of what other people think. And so there's a certain element of support. And so I guess like it could be the fact that within your environment, you may not necessarily find support. Or let's say that you're trying to launch something in times like this where it may be difficult, right? But it's to hold on to this dream because there's going to be victory here and there's going to be success there against all odds. Against all odds, it's like you're going to get this victory in spite of this Five of Wands sort of soft opposition. But maybe that's another reason why it's like you're going to like your guides in spirit. So colorful, right? This deck. Besides this, you know, look at all of the colors, and then Oh, it's because someone. Okay, all right, gotcha. Like we got all these colors, right? And the most vibrant card could arguably be this Empress over here. But it's like in our environment, no one can see the color that we're sort of painting with. It's like we're trying to bring color to a monochromatic world, but everybody only sees black and white. And so they see all of your colors not as black or white, but as various shades of gray in between. And so it's like they almost get it, but not even almost get it. It's just like they're maybe not capable of seeing it for the fullness of what it is. And this doesn't even have to be other people, right? This could sometimes be you or a more self critical aspect of yourself. But on this side, we got this three of orbs. Oh my gosh. And I just saw this card in the previous run through. The Nine of Cups just appeared again. We have the Magician, the Magus, the Star, which is the healer, and the Nine of Cups. So both wish cards came out. The Nine of Cups and the Star both came out, and the Magician. Like both wish cards and the Magician came out, where we're talking about the collaboration of like spirit. So like I don't know who's about to do what, but this is very, very, very good energy. My advice would be to be in a humble space of knowing that some people oppose us and sometimes we oppose ourselves. Sometimes the energy of opposition comes from a space of inherent limitation. And so people will project their limitations onto you, right? Excuse me, because this card is all about like the story behind what's her name? Illustrated by Lisa Hunt. Like when Lisa was a kid, her teacher told her daddy that her head was in the clouds. And, you know, in this negative connotation that like she's not realistic, she's not down here focused on things that actually works. And she wanted to be an artist and she pursued it and she's found her place in it. Right. And a lot of people will be so quick to be like, oh, if you're in this major, if you're in that major, if you pursue this, if you pursue that, there's not going to be any money in it. It's so hard to get exposure and to be successful. You're going to be starving. You're going to have to be doing all these other like hustles and things on the side. And if you have multiple streams of income, like if you're doing what you got to do to get there, like, you know, it is what it is, but it's to not fall into that and to know that I feel like not only are you wanting this, I feel like there's also this energy of like whatever this pursuit is, I feel like it's related to purpose in a way. It's like you want to be happy and they want to make you happy, and so they are going to do everything that they need, like the Nine of Cups, the Star, and the Magician, clarifying this Three of Pentacles when you're asking spirit for help, and that is their reply. Like I don't like this is I want to take a picture of this will be the thumbnail. This is going to be the thumbnail. Like this ain't the whole video, of course, because of what I just said, you know, if y'all were here for that. But I do love this energy. I love this energy. There we go. Oh, I love that. I love that. I don't know what that's about. Okay. So this is going to go to the Pride deck because the Empress beat out the Mason. And I feel like at the same time, if you look at the energy of the Empress versus the Mason is a very like the Mason is a masculine energy in the sake of, well, not necessarily, because the Mason is the maker, right? But I feel like with the Mason, there's this energy of like, you don't need to know exactly how it's going to work out. You don't need to know the specifics. Just keep the dream alive, continue to pursue it, continue to be in this space where you can manifest it from the heart with pure intention and stuff like that. And allow the path to its fruition and to its revealing to unfold in front of you. There's a certain amount of trust that's going to be needed on your part, because I feel like there is a better way, or this it may just something is going to unfold in a way that is better than you thought it would and better than you could have imagined. This right-sided headache. I don't know what right-sided headache mean, but if you need to let it go, let it go. So in the 40 minutes that you missed, that's what the theme was. Like, if you're self-sabotaging in some way, asking for something, it's like you asked, you want it, you're not taking it because you're in your own way. And it was more of the energy of something that you need to cut out, but that could be negative self-behaviors. And then it came back in the second round where like the second eye of God was like, I'm sending the Reaper to cut this out and to present this opportunity. Whether you take it or not is on you. But if you don't take this opportunity when you got my full and undivided attention, then hey, but maybe somebody is, and that's getting into that Empress where it's like you're excited now and they're excited for you and everyone's excited and things are beautiful. And now we have this kindred, the Three of Chalices, another three. What's up with all the threes? What's up with all the threes? Hello? Taurus new moon, I guess, energy. Let's see. And then coming off this time is the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles is going to beat out the Three of Cups because 7 is bigger than 3. Is this relevant or related? This may be, okay, so I'm going to take this as maybe coming into this Taurus new moon energy, the energy where the seat of Venus is empty. And I say the seat of Venus is empty because the moon is going to be new in Taurus and full in Scorpio. So it's going to be new in the feminine side of Venus and full in the feminine side of Mars. So maybe that was unnecessary. Maybe it's time for a little bit more passion and time for a little bit more drive when it comes to pursuing whatever this is. And so this may be like different. Like on the first case, it's a lot of self-sabotage. On the second case, it's a lot of trust and it's a lot of like cooperation. And here in this third case, I feel like we have that same energy of cooperation and collaboration, but here someone is like meditating a little more for whatever that is. And again, but here we also have a connection to all 7 chakras, right? We have a connection to the 7 chakras. So I feel like whereas that Empress was like all the way connected, I feel like there is a sort of link established, but it may not be as strong. And I'm going to see what is backing this side first because I want to clarify. King of Swords, the Queen of Wands. Oh, we got a king and a queen. Oh, goodness. And the Devil. The King of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Devil. Okay. So what this mean? Somebody tell me what this means, please. The ends must justify the means just came to mind. And by the ends justifying the means, there's this energy of that's my daddy. I still haven't messaged him. I need to talk to him. I had a dream about him. And there was a point in time when I was having a lot of dreams. He would just show up in a lot of my dreams. And one time it was like I was going to his house and he was driving without his glasses on. And I'm like, Ain't nobody on the road right now, so it's fine that you're kind of sort of all over the place. But then I was like, we driving on some train tracks right now, and he was like, oh, let me let me get off the tracks before this train comes, right? But anyway, I feel like the ends have to justify the means. And I want to see what's happening over here before I say anything. Okay. Okay. So the Nine of Swords, the Haunt, the Lovers, which is cool, and then the Blind Seer, the Two of Swords. That's 11 swords. It's like a magic trick over here where okay, so I understand what this energy is now. It's like a magic trick over here where the lovers are in this box, right? And we're putting swords through the box. And like the more swords go in the box, the more anxious you sort of feel, right? And so it's like we're down to the last two swords. We're already 9 swords anxious. Like, oh my gosh, like, whew, when is it going to be over? Are they going to come out of the box? And we don't know what the state of this trick will be. We're just hoping that this won't be a little magic mishap. That's what I'm going to title this little part. This is going to be titled A Magic Mishap because this Three of Cups energy, the kindred, is just simply that. The Mason was spirit wanting to build with you. This is just the energy of whatever you offer is what you're getting back. And so if your intentions were not pure or impure, that's what you're going to get back. And I feel like the meditation going on this, I don't know who this, I don't know why these just like randomly be coming. But it doesn't have to be as extreme as I'm feeling it, right? Because at the end of the day, this is all about intention, right? And so one thing that I had to do myself was check my intentions because in a lot of ways I'm being ejected out of the space that I'm in because I'm not supposed to get comfortable here and I'm not supposed to get complacent because if I get too comfortable, I'm not going to project into all of the things that I need to go into. I'm not going to get to the next step if I get comfortable at home. And so there's this necessary tension that is keeping me from feeling that level of like complacency, right? But if I allow that tension to put me into this space of like, I can't wait to get out of here and wait to be on my own and bet not nobody ask me for nothing because I ain't gonna have a dime if they do, like that's not the way to go. Right? That's not the way to do it because if you move out or if I were to move out with that mentality, then the abundance that I would be trying to manifest to rub in somebody else's face wouldn't come to me because the intention isn't there. The intention isn't right, right? That's just an example. It wasn't that extreme, but I was just like, you know what? Like, I want my own place and blah, 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 blah. But on the other hand, if somebody was doing some shady ish, trying to get some stuff, I don't know, because between this King of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and this Devil energy, I feel like this is a battle between what you know is right and what you want, right? There's this energy of like, I really, really want this thing. And it's the Queen of Wands. She got a wand. It's like, I really, really, really want this thing. And it's mine. I'm going to get it. But with this King of Swords, I feel like this is like the conscious, like, okay, but there are ways to go about this that are less honorable than other ways to go about this. So let's make sure we're going about this in a way that would, be great. And with this devil card sort of backing all of this up, that could just be the energy of temptation, right? It could just be the energy of temptation, and if you're going to fall into temptation or if you're not going to fall into temptation. Like the Queen of Wands could be Lilith energy sometimes, and I'm not saying Lilith is bad because I'll never put my girl Lilith down like that. But at the same time, did she allow herself to be tempted into that space? Or did she make the choice on her own? You know what I mean? Amen. And then there's this Seven of Pentacles meditation here. Honestly, the feeling that I'm kind of sort of getting, and this doesn't have to be overall. This could be in a very specific. This could be related to a very, very specific sort of area of life, right? Like this could be a job, it could be a car, it could be a person, it could be a video game, it could be groceries at the store, right? I want some peanut butter. So next time I got to make my essential trip to the store, I'm going to pick up some peanut butter. But then you get to the store and you find out that there's no peanut butter, right? It could be something that small. But even on this side, it's like this is like an elevator. Seven chakras, it's like an elevator. And there's an attempt to go higher to get to like the penthouse suites, the fancy levels, right? When you're capped at floor number 4, because this deck is 4 and below, right? And you're trying to get to 5, 6, and 7. And so it's like you got to have an access card. Your intentions are checked at the door, and I don't know. It's just like this energy of like hoping that something doesn't blow back onto somebody. I don't know. You will get what you put out, is what the kindred is saying. And unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what you did, this 7 is going to take it. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to shut this down because it's already been almost an hour and a half. And I'm not making it through the whole deck. Because this is 2 decks. And so when I was doing it through one deck, I essentially split the deck in half. But yeah, it's like whatever seeds you planted are going to bear fruit. And there's a heavy karmic energy there. Karmic or dharmic, but mostly karmic energy there with the reciprocity of the other side. Because I feel like with whatever harvest is coming up, like you've already planted the seeds for this harvest. So any seeds that you plant now are going to be for the next sort of window of opportunity, right? Maybe the next full moon, right? I don't know. Next full moon is going to be in Gemini. Next full moon is going to be in Sagittarius. And the new moon is going to be Gemini. And that, so we're going to have we're going to have a lunar cycle right when the nodes switch. I believe it's going to be when the nodes switch, because the nodes switch on the 5th. Let me see when this moon will be new. I don't know. It'll either be right after or right before the nodes switch. We're going to have the new moon with the north node just being in Gemini and the full moon with the south node just being in Sagittarius. So the seeds have already been planted on whatever that is. And so if something come back or blow back, it's like karma can be good or bad. Karma is just you reap what you sow. It's time to sow. And Venus is about to retrograde. Ooh. Cutting to the 5 of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. So maybe an Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Orbs, maybe a 5 of Cups. Do better next time. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. I mean, that won't play out how it plays out. Okay. Oh, what is that? The Journeyman just came out, which is the 8 of Orbs. I feel like regardless of how it plays out, just know that this is a step on the journey. And it's not too late to correct course for the future. I mean, time is relative and mutable and fluid. So, I don't know. Girl! Was she not just there? Was that last Sunday or the Sunday before? When was Easter? I don't know. Oof. She do her own thing. That's what she said. Miss Red said, "You don't control me." She said, "I'm the cycle and use the person." What card is this? A card just went onto the floor. Ooh, the star is in reverse. Why did the star just slide out onto the floor in reverse? This is my all upright deck. Hello? I'm going to slide. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'll set it here for now. Because I'm not even starting on this side. So I don't know what that was about. But 1, excuse me, 2, 3, and 4. Ooh. Okay. The Stronghold of the Zephyrs came out with a message. So I'm going to take the message to be the star in reverse. Because they're both air suited. And so that's her message. Oh, wow. I don't know what that means. I think I kind of sort of know what that means. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that the Emperor? No. Who is that? Justice? No. Who is that? What's this? Oh, it's the Chariot. The Chariot came out. Both of these are all upright decks, by the way. The day before Easter, the 12th, and it's now the 24th. So you want to bi-weekly, every 2 weeks thing now? I get annoyed enough with my body. Maybe you wouldn't be annoyed. I feel like I would be annoyed personally. Okay, cool. Work. So I'm gonna pull another card because that's how I feel it. So I am gonna end up pulling another card. Okay. So the star in reverse was the message. 909, 45%, 999. Major endings. The Destroyer 10 of Swords just came out. More air energy, right? That's Gemini, and we have Aquarius on the table. Only thing we're missing is Libra. And so then we have this Page of Wands. So on one side is the Page of Wands. On the other side is the Page of Swords. The Page of Pentacles, I said Wands. The Page of Pentacles over here. The Page of Swords over there. This side is going to take it. No. This side is going to take it because the page beats the 10. This is interesting. 9 for the White Cosmic World Bridger. Oh, snap. World Bridger, that's my challenge. Oof. Okay. This is interesting. I'm just going to flip the cards because I don't know what this is about. Well, no, I'm not. Let me try. So we have the Chariot and the Page of Pentacles. I actually want to read the entry for the Page of Pentacles because I feel like there may be something interesting about it. I'm going to pull it up over here so I don't have to pull my glasses down. That Page of Pennies. That Page of Pentacles. I'm sorry. That was me doing my interpretation of non-Taurus earth signs because, when you're a Taurus, you got golden pipes. Okay. All right. So this Page of Pentacles. This card represents a diligent and courageous messenger to the querent in matters of communication or finance. The Page of Pentacles represents a person who is. Why am I doing this? I just said I wouldn't do that. The Page of Pentacles represents a person who is unafraid of the work required to study or practice and who has the ability to effectively apply information. They know of what they speak, so listen closely and think hard. I've drawn a portrait of a local LGBTQ plus elder in my community, Amina Shakur. Amina is a fount of knowledge on a number of subjects and offers guidance to those who ask. I see elements of the page in their actions and work, and I hope they give you the courage to do what's required to achieve the desired results. So this Page of Pentacles energy, Patrick, my other spirit animal. Wait, what's your other spirit animal? Who, me? Wait, what? When operating in the light of today's energy, the positive aspects are release, forgiveness, humility, death, spirit, ancestors, revelation, shaman, multidimensional, transmutation, surrender, and eternal. Eternal. Gotcha. There's a few things about this. But we have the Chariot here. So this Chariot is what is confusing me. It could be the possibility that we're going to be trying to progress in a certain direction and we're going to meet this page. Now, the interesting thing about this page is this page is an elder. This page is ready to go the distance. And this page is very knowledgeable and practical and pragmatic, right? But I feel like the wisdom of this page would be easily overlooked because it's a page. It's very interesting that when illustrating a page, she chose a wise elder who is sought out for their knowledge and experience. Something about this page or this person is unconventional. And low key with this energy over here, I don't know what this is, but with the destroyer and the star in reverse. So we have the Page of Swords right here. An angel from the unformed lands, right? Who carries a word. And this, the message that she carried again, was this star in reverse from the other deck. And so I feel like we may get a warning in some area. It may be like we're proceeding and progressing in one direction. And with that Ten of Swords, it's like we may be heading in a direction that will not be favorable. It's either A, we're heading after something that we really don't want because the star is in reverse. So that may be like you thought you wanted this and you're about to find out you don't want it. So either that or you're not going towards something that you do want. Like with the star in reverse and the Chariot upright, something is not lining up. With the Ten of Swords, something needs to change or something will change you. And with these two messengers here, it's like, and again, like this is an elder, right? So now I'm getting like spiritual elder vibes, although it's just a page. Appearances can be deceiving. So I feel like you have this Page of Pentacles carrying the same message that this angel is bringing. Because the angel, for whatever reason, can't reach you. And maybe that's what this Ten of Swords is. Maybe this Ten of Swords is just like you being so mentally clouded and confused and fogged and mentally foggy that you can't clearly receive this message yourself. Okay, I'm going to go with that storyline. You can't receive this message yourself because you've got too much going on. They can't get through to you. And so they're sending this person, an actual person in real life, to bring you a message. And with this being the Page of Pentacles, I feel like it's important to heed the word of whatever it is. But also now I'm feeling that like it may not be a huge message. By that, it means like you could have an animal, a number, a phrase, a word, a location, a person, a name, something in your mind. It's like if I just say Tulsa, right? And like you've been recently thinking of relocating and you don't know if you should do it or not do it. You don't know if you should go to this place or that place. And I say Tulsa because that's what the lady said yesterday. They used to live in Tulsa, but now they live here. And so like it could be a word said in passing, something that you overhear, something very, very small and seemingly insignificant, but it's a message for you. So either it's going to be a person that you don't necessarily trust who is bringing, not trust, but someone who may be bringing you a message that you don't necessarily feel that they're qualified to give you. It's like, why should I listen to you? Like you're just a page, but this is a very wise person and you would do well to heed whatever they say, because they're going to point you in the right direction or they're going to keep you from driving your chariot off a cliff. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It may just be, again, it may just be direction. Like you want to move, but you don't know what direction to take. They may say something small that gives you that direction. Like low key, it was April 4th on that 444 portal. And everybody's like talking about all these synchronicities. And honestly, I got a few, but the 444 portal was pretty chill for me. I was watching anime with my little brother, so but all of a sudden randomly he started humming the like Michael Myers' theme, and I was like, I look over at him and I'm like, why that? Why that out of anything that you could have hummed? And he was like, I don't know, it just popped into my head. And then he was talking about how like that it almost sounds like boss music, like if you were playing a game or something. And I'm like, so in my mind I'm just like, I uploaded a whole hour and a half long rant video about why I may or may not have rolled my eyes. I'm not rolling my eyes anymore. But it just got me in this space of like, we really do sometimes, it happens all the time where we'll say a word to someone or someone will do something that impacts us in a very significant way that they may not necessarily be aware of. And we get all these synchronicities, not only through numbers and signs, but also from people. And then it's like and then in my mind, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I guess for me personally, I have chosen to use my connection in a way that potentially benefits other people. And I don't mind being that and doing that. But low key, it's like, so just like some random person is going to deliver me this message, like just right here. Like, did they agree to delivering me this message? Or like, is there a certain, it's not like violation, but it's just like we really just like do stuff like that, cognizant and aware or not. And so it may be something like that, something small. Now let's get into what this is actually about, because I haven't talked about any of these cards. Ooh, the Ace of Swords. Oh, goodness. Temperance and the Knight of Pentacles. So we have this Knight of Pentacles in a space where we have the Chariot and the Page of Pentacles. So we just gave this neutral-ish, it takes on the element of water because Cancer, but we gave this Chariot the element of earth with this page. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Not only that, but both the page and the Knight of Pentacles popped up in the same 5 cards. And then we also have Temperance and this Ace of Swords. This may be a message to wait. It may be a message to take it a little bit slower. It may be a message to think things through a little bit. Excuse me, Uranus is in Taurus right now, and it's squaring Saturn. And I've been hearing a lot because I was watching one of my buddies on Facebook. He's doing this thing now whenever we enter like a lunation period. he'll do a thing where he talks about the astrology, and he'll do like free readings and stuff on his Facebook. Um, and he actually got me into, he reintroduced me to astrology and kind of sort of tarot in a way. Like I was already doing it, but I was not doing it for people. And I never thought I would be on YouTube doing it. I was like, I'll do it for myself. And then I kind of connected with him. And so I just gave him a few cards one time on Snapchat. And now he's always shouting me out. And I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want these people asking me for cards. And he was like, anyway. Um, but he's been talking about how between that Uranus and Saturn square, Uranus being the planet of change and sort of like rebellion, but mostly just change, right? And Saturn being the planet of restriction and boundary. It's like before Uranus makes any crazy sort of like too far out there changes, before Uranus like shakes the boat too much, Saturn is going to be asking it if it's thought through all of the things that it's going forward with, right? And so that's kind of sort of the energy that I'm picking up here between the Ace of Swords and Temperance and the Knight of Pentacles. Clarifying this Chariot originally, but then I pulled the Page of Pentacles to help break the tie, right? And so whatever this sort of change and whatever this move is going to be in regards to, I feel like it's going to be fairly important to dot your I's, cross your T's, double check the itinerary. Yeah, I said dot I's and cross T's. I was like, wait, did I just say cross I's and dot T's? No, I didn't. Okay. But it's like there's a certain element of practicality that needs to come into play before you do this. And so it could be like, and this is gonna kind of sort of conflict with the one I gave 2 readings ago. Uranus is in opposition to your Saturn. I feel like that's not a bad thing though. I feel like Uranus in opposition to Saturn is actually good because I feel like there are some planets that you don't want to have easy access to your chart and to your energies. Like Uranus, Pluto, like Uranus and Pluto would be 2 for me personally, and not personally, but in some ways it depends on the situation. But like if Uranus and Pluto have easy access to your chart, especially through a trine, things can just fall apart and your whole life could change overnight in a split second. Because those are planets that are all about change and that are can be very drastic. And so if you give them an easy aspect like a trine or even a sextile, like a sextile could be you having the opportunity, like, you know, you at work and you say the wrong thing, or you like 2 seconds late on the wrong day, or like you make a mistake on the day that the head honcho is there and then you get fired, right? There's that opportunity for a significant change to come into your life very, very easily. And so I feel like having a harsh aspect to another malefic planet like Saturn could actually be a good thing, where it's like, I feel like there's a little bit of assurance in knowing that, like, if you do come across a change or if something does happen, then it's like it had to go through Saturn first. You know what I mean? But also at the same time, if you look at it from the point of view that Saturn is going to make it hard for Uranus to make changes in your life, then it's that. Yeah, I mean, it's like polarity and aspects and all that. It's all about the mind state that you approach that energy with, right? That's how I personally feel. And I came to that realization when I was in, like, you know, there are certain comforts that I don't necessarily want to be disrupted. And so if I got like Pluto trining my Jupiter, you know, for example, maybe it's like, why does it seem like my life is always falling apart? Or maybe Uranus trining Jupiter. Like, why does it seem like my life is always falling apart? And it's like, yeah, I do get better afterwards, or I do find a better job, or I do meet somebody better. But why do things have to fall apart? So why do things have to shake so much in order for me to like get to the next step? Like, can I not just ease into it? Do I always have to be pushed? Right. And so it depends on how you play that energy, honestly. But it's not always like oppositions and squares aren't always bad things. And a trine and a sextile isn't always a good thing. But yeah, so there you go. But yes, I feel like this is the space where we may be moving a little too quickly and we may need to slow it down a little bit and really think about the direction that we're about to head into. Because with this star in reverse and with this 10 of swords, like there's potentially the risk of you pursuing something that is not great for you, or you could be putting something to bed before it's time, and you may like this star in reverse, maybe you like coming into this 10 of swords energy, cutting something off, and then realizing later that what you just cut off was part of what you were asking for and wanting and wishing for. Like, I feel like that opportunity would come back around, maybe in a different way, but that opportunity would come back around. But there's an energy of like, slow this chariot down. I don't think you're supposed to stop because we like the Knight of Pentacles is still here, and the Knight of Pentacles is Atlantean. And so there's this inherent watery focus to this Knight of Pentacles, which is very interesting because I feel like with this air and with temperance being this balance, it just may be that like maybe the temperance coming in is a balance between earth and water instead of like water and fire traditionally, right? Maybe it's like you had a lot of feelings in this space with Cancer. Like you had a lot of feelings in this space with Cancer, but it wasn't practical with this page of with the Page of Pentacles. It's like, yes, like the feelings are there, but the practicality isn't there. Like the money isn't there. Something may be off with the family. Like there's, and then like temperance is coming to bridge that relationship potentially. Like take this anyway, it resonates. But I feel like I'm gonna look and see what these say, but it may not be time to let this go. 5 of Cups, 4 of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. So this is a 9 of Cups in between the 5 and the 4. And then this Ace of Wands right here. This is interesting. So I feel like there was no. Hold on. Okay. All right. So we're actually going to take this one a little further. Right. So the way I set this up is the Pride Tarot is the lower 3 chakras and the heart. And then this is the upper 4. Lower 4, upper 4, they intersect at the 4th. And so when it comes to your foundation, when it comes to what you desire, and when it comes to how you act, there's this conflict between that and what you see, what you speak, and what you know. What you know, the less questionable things that you know. Like, what do any of us really know? Like, what you receive from spirit, your intuition, right? And so, 9 of Cups is wish granted. There's this wish granted in the upper realms, and there's this fire, sacred fire there. Sacred fire, right? Yeah, sacred fire. You see that? Sacred fire. Oh, check out maybe check out your Vesta. Because this torch is giving me the Flame of Rome vibes. The Vestal Virgins were the keepers of the flame. They kept the flame lit, and I think there was a myth that if the flame ever went out, then the empire would fall. I can't remember 100% for sure, but that was a sacred fire, and I just looked into Vestal Virgins again recently because of Vesta. Cause shout out to Miyoshi. Um, and Carius came up yesterday, which is interesting. But I learned about the Vestal Virgins in Latin. I took Latin all 4 years of high school. So the one thing I remember is ego sum rex romanis et supra grammaticon, or grammaticum supra. And it translates to like, I am the king of Rome and above grammar. And where does that fit in here? Because with this page being something, okay, with this page being someone who is very wise, but still in this page energy, I feel like someone felt like they were above something in this situation. This could go so many different ways. But let's just say that you were wanting something, going after something that made sense or felt good from a heart plus sense, but on a heart below sense, it didn't work. It didn't fit into the foundation that you had built. It didn't fit into the things that you were doing at the time with the sacral. And it didn't necessarily, it didn't fit into your vision, or it conflicted with a vision that you had of the future for the sacral, right? The vision, the creation sacral, the foundation, the root, and the sort of way that things work with the solar. Like, I feel like there was the heart, it was there in the heart, but something just like did not make sense. And maybe it felt like it would have required time, or it would have required something, maybe healing. It would have required healing, because the star can also be a card of healing, right? I'm talking about temperance, not the star. The star is in reverse. So maybe you needed to heal to take whatever this was, because the star was in reverse. Maybe you have to step back to do some healing. But temperance is here, and temperance is also an energy of healing and alchemy, right? And transmutation and turning one thing into another. And then there's this Ace of Swords clarity that came in. And so, energetically, truths have ways of revealing themselves and manifesting in many, like it can manifest in any different way, right? So let's say that you attract this thing that you're not healed enough to really go on, because the star is in reverse, right? And temperance is upright. So star in reverse, need more healing. Temperance upright, need more time to do that healing, etc. And so this Ace of Swords is telling you the truth is that you need more time before you proceed forward with this. But that truth can manifest in any way, right? Like, let's say a little argument blows up. Let's say you lose your job and you can't afford to take the trip. You can't afford to relocate. Let's say that things pick up in someone's life, someone quits, and so they're working like doubles and working all this overtime. Separation manifests itself some way because something needs to be done. Now, the separation could be interpreted as, this wasn't good for me. Okay, I'm sorry. Whew. I had to let that go real quick. Venus is still lit in my chart. Venus may be just eternally lit in my chart because I am proceeding into my next evolution of healing. And so that involves a lit Venus. And so I just had to catch myself because I was really about to blow up. I was really about to blow up, but it's fine. I'm learning. Okay. You felt what? Ooh. All right. So it's like you may interpret that separation as like, oh, we weren't meant to be together. This person wasn't good for me. And then it's like you start looking at all of these things and interpreting what happened in all of these different ways outside of maybe why it actually happened, right? And that could be this Ten of Swords and Page of Swords, right? It's like you are looking at this in like literally every way except the way that would actually get you closer to why this actually happened. And so that's why this messenger is bringing a message maybe through someone else. And it could also, with this being the Page of Pentacles, and I kind of sort of spoke to that earlier, it could be somebody younger than you. It could be someone younger than you who says something that you're like, you're not that old. Well, like, what do you know? It could be someone that you view as inexperienced, right? And that's sort of why there's this discrepancy here. But I feel like there's an energy of something like that happening, right? And so something between your root and your heart needed to be changed, healed, and fixed, and rebalanced and reworked with that temperance card. And on this side, we have this Four of Cups and this Five of Cups, which leads to this Nine of Cups. So I feel like your higher selves, angels and gods, were sort of like, there's this understanding, and especially with that sacred fire, Ace of Wands, just like so much fire and passion and heat. It's like, this is something that you're wishing. This is something that you're wishing for. And like the star is here again. Again, we have this energy of the Nine of Cups and the star being on the same side of things, on the spiritual side of things at that, right? And then instead of the magician, now we have the Ace of Wands. Like, we have the tool. We don't have the person who knows how to use the tool, but we have the tool itself. You gotta learn to use the tool to manifest and make this happen this time, right? But it's like with that Nine of Cups and the star's in reverse and the Nine of Cups is split. But it's like, they know that it's something that you want and you've been wishing for and waiting for, because the energy of this Four of Cups says exactly just that much. Like, you're meditating for it, wishing for it, praying for it, and it's being offered to you. But you're going to have to open your eyes, recognize that it's there, and then take it, right? But at the same time, there's this Five of Cups. And so you have this 4 and 5. Like, not only are you going to have to open your eyes and recognize this and see it as the answer to the thing that you've been praying for, but there may be certain things that you have to put to bed before you can fully take it and walk away with it. And so it is I feel like there's a lot of fire here, and it's something that you really want, and like spirit knows that you want it, but it's like, long story short, you weren't, and I've already said it, long story short, you weren't ready for it when you got it. And you can look at the separation or the distance between you and where you want to be in any way you want. But I feel like there's a way to look at it that is more correct, and there's a way to look at it that is less correct. And regardless of how you look at it, you're going to look at it the right way. And so that's to say, if you think this separation happened, if you think that this separation happened because you're not good enough to receive it, then that will be true. You won't be good enough, and then you will proceed to live your life in a space that you're not good enough for any of the good things. And so every time you manifest an opportunity to reach and achieve this again, you're going to be faced with this same mental struggle in yourself. And if you reach the space that you're not good enough again, you're going to keep sabotaging these as they come in. If you reach the point where you decide that, I don't know, like, you don't want this, like, if you are so stubbornly obstinate in what you believe you want and what you believe you don't want, there's, on the spiritual side, on the side of the heart and up, is the Nine of Cups. I would trust God, the universe, angels, spirit guides. I would trust all of them to know what I actually want, because they're not bound by time. So let's just do an exercise with me really quick, right? Let's say for some reason you want my phone, right? And so in your mind, you're like, oh, I want that phone. And so you pull up all of the timelines, potential realities where you have that phone, right? Because you want it. Now, with you or with us being in the space that we're in, we experience that desire in the way of wanting it. But on the spiritual side, on the side that is timeless, they can experience and see every potential reality involved with us having that thing. And so at the same time, in that timelessness, they can see that if we actually get that it won't fulfill us in the ways that we're looking for it to, and ultimately it will work, or ultimately it will work to our detriment, or we'll get it and we'll find out that we don't want it, or we'll get it like 2 days before a new one comes out, or 2 days before it gets recalled, or 2 days before people are like, yeah, hoverboards are exploding now because of the batteries, right? That could have been an explosion averted. Doctor Who's. Oh, I love Doctor Who. I got my Amazon Prime Instant Video back, so as soon as I finish catching up on Teen Wolf and finish Teen Wolf, I will be going back to rewatch Doctor Who. But it's like, so on that higher perspective, they see time as an instant, and they see all potential realities, and so they actually know because they can see the path where you get it and how it works out, right? And so I would trust that more than what I think I want. And so, but then, like, if you convince yourself that you don't want this, then there's just like a piece of happiness potential that you will never allow yourself to accept. Or if you choose to think of this as like, this separation happened because there's healing that I need to do, there's work that I need to do, there's something that I need to do before I progress on that journey, and this happened so that I can find, do, acquire, heal, whatever that is, to really appreciate this when I get it, right? Like if I buy a bunch of like, if I have, speaking of Doctor Who and time, if I have a time traveling buddy who can go to the future and get me all of the PlayStation 6 games that I want, like if he doesn't get me a console, I'm just going to be holding on to these games for how many years until the console actually comes out? Or if he goes and get the console, but he doesn't get any games, then it's like I have a console and no games, right? Like, what am I going to do with that? Right? There's something that you need to pick up that's going to work in conjunction with this to make it even better, to make it functional, to make it with this star, to make it all of what you're hoping for and dreaming for and wishing for and better. But the attitude that you adopt around this is going to be true. So, and maybe I'm the Page of Pentacles. I'm younger than some folks, and I got Earth in my chart. Here to tell you whatever I just said, because I don't know. This is really long. This is like 2 hours, and I only did, what, 5? But I will do one last thing. So this is going to go to this side, the pride side. I think the spirit side got 2, and the pride side got 3, maybe. Let me see. 1, 2. Hold on, wait. This is 1. This is 2, 3, 4. So the pride side got 4, and the spirit side got 1. Spirit only got 1, and pride got 4. And it's another thing that's interesting is that I'm using the pride tarot for the lower 3 chakras to the heart, and then the spirit keepers tarot for the heart to the crown. I mean, it wasn't completely unintentional, but with how the name of the deck sort of work out, because I was like, with the SKT, I get more of a higher vibe anyway. And with the Pride Tarot, it's a lot more rooted in our actual experiences, especially for the folks of the LGBTQ plus community, rooted in our experiences. So it's like things rooted in our experiences versus like a higher, sort of more symbolic, abstract way of getting all this. But I mean, we have pride versus the spirit, and pride is taking it. So, but I believe pride also caught that Empress where spirit was so ready to help. So maybe it ain't no bad. Maybe it ain't all bad. I don't know. Okay. I do want to do one last thing, though. And this is going to be very interesting because I only have a certain number of cards. But I want to pull one of these. I'm going to pull one from each and see where we leave this pride versus spirit. Pride and spirit. Because this is this and. I'm trying to get away from the versus word. I know where it's necessary. But honestly, personally, and it's interesting because I was just talking about how, like, the idea of like oneness versus individuality, and how I personally lean towards individuality, because it's like, yes, we're all one, and like you can say that we all come from the same divine consciousness. We're just sparks of that consciousness, but it's like I didn't incarnate into an individual experience to completely neglect my individual experience. Like that's literally why I'm here, to experience this experience and to live my life in the unique way that I can. And so I'm not going to, it's almost like diluting it, honestly. It is diluting it, right? Like if I have some juice that's, I don't know, 45% water, and I have water, if I pour that juice into the ocean, it's water. The ocean is the one that we all come from. Like I have my cup of juice so I can enjoy the juice, right? I don't want like 99.999999999% water juice. Like if that's the case, I'd rather have water. But at the same time, if people need to go into the energy of oneness and like universal oneness in order to respect other people, and in order to feel some kind of compassion and empathy for somebody, at the same time I understand the path that that leads to and the merit of it. So if that's your path and that's your journey, like, do it. If it's not, do it. Like we're all down here doing our own thing, and my thing is my thing. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. That just came up. But yeah, I've been trying to get away from the verses word. I understand where it's sort of applicable, and I'm trying to hit like, it's interesting because I'm trying to hit individuality and non-duality at the same time, because that's just where I feel like I'm going to be cozy and comfortable. And again, I know that like sometimes some things are more effective for some folks than other things. Okay, I'll give this two more, and then I'll pull the one on the top and leave the one on the bottom. And that was way more than two, but I'm going to keep going until stop. Okay, all right. Oh, okay. What's on the bottom? Ooh, okay. All right. Oh, what's under this? Mm. So yeah, that definitely clarifies what I was just thinking. All right, cool, got it. Oh yeah, because it's right there. Duh. Okay. So I just got the Pride ones, and now I'm gonna be. There's only like 4 cards here, so I'm just gonna lay them out. 4. Is it 4? So it's 4. This one or this one? This one or this one? Both of them. Okay. Oh, ooh, okay. And then this is the bottom. Oh. Oh, it's magic. You know. I can't believe it's nuts. Oh, it's magic. 3, 2, 1, 4. Again, but I'll take this one as 4 this time. Okay, and 5. Because that's the bottom of the deck. Ooh, this is interesting. This is interesting. Ooh, this is interesting. This is interesting. Ooh, this is interesting. I'm sorry. Ooh. Oh, okay, yeah. I wasn't gonna take these. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I guess I know now. Fixed energy. We got Mama Saturn. I don't know why Saturn is a mother now, but oh. So New World Order, the Malays, and the Shining Dew just came out. New World Order, the Malays, and the Shining Dew came out of this deck. I was just like, I'm getting the rest of the cards put back into the deck. I have the last few cards. So on the Pride side is the 9 of Cups, the Wish Granted, and the Temperance card. What is that? Okay, now we have a representative from the Pride Tarot. Four of Cups is at the bottom. Like, I don't like the energy of the Four of Cups, but I love that two dudes are illustrated chilling in their boxes, because that, honestly, that's part of the dream. Somebody that I can chill with and not have to talk to. Oh, the messenger. Okay, that's interesting. Like, not have to talk to all the time, but somebody who's okay with just chilling. And like in real life, I'm cool with just chilling, but sometimes I don't know. There's a lot of ways that I sort of think of myself that I've discovered, and let's do this. There's a lot of no. Let's do this. Ways that I think of myself, I've discovered. Like, I kind of sort of think of myself as like boring sometimes, but that's just because like the things that I'm interested in and the things that I enjoy doing aren't necessarily like what other people enjoy doing. And then at the same time, like, I don't always need to be doing something either. And so then it's like I'm comfortable with just chilling in silences, but like if I'm with somebody else, sometimes I don't want to be perceived as boring. So I don't like it. Okay. I mean, I'm almost done here. So on the pride side is temperance and the nine of cups. This to me is the energy of, and it may run counter to what I was just saying, but take each message as they resonate. This was not intended to be one cohesive story told from point A to B to C to D to D to E to F to G. That was not the intention. And it was also not intended to be one book, two book, three book, four book, five book, six book, seven books, not in a series. Some of them are together, some of them are separate. Take each as they resonate separately. But to me, since this is the pride side, there's this energy that like if you want something, you have to wait for it. And I love this because I know where this is going. If you want something, you have to wait for it. Like if you want something, you got to work for it. If you want something, you have to suffer. Things have to be ugly and nasty before things can be beautiful. And it's always the darkest before it's the dawn, because that's just the way the world works, sweetie. When in reality, it's like, it doesn't necessarily have to be ugly before it's pretty. It doesn't necessarily have to be dark before it's light. Like, who's to say that the light didn't come first? You know what I mean? Why is it always dark before the dawn? Sometimes the dawn comes before the moon rises. You know what I mean? Who determined the order of things that always put something bad before something good? Well, it's because when bad things happen, you need to be encouraged, right? And then when you do good things, I guess you don't want to fear that good things are going to go away. So it makes sense, because that's actually the camp that I used to fall into. It's like, oh, if something good happens, then something bad is going to happen to counteract that good thing, and I don't want anything bad to happen. So therefore, nothing happens. That's not the way to go either. Anyway, there's an energy of like you have to work hard, you have to wait to get what you want in the pride sense. And then backing that up at the bottom of the decks was the Corruptor and the Queen of Wands. And the spread that the Queen of Wands came out in, and I looked at the bottom of the decks, the Devil was at the bottom of this deck, and I can't remember what was at the bottom of the other ones. It might have been the Lovers, but I don't think so. But I feel like that's the mentality that may be getting some people to try to expedite some processes, and maybe like the Corruptor, right? These are the seven deadly sins. One of them being envy, right? I don't know why I'm pointing out envy, but because the Queen of Wands is here, I guess. It could have been lust or envy. There is an intersection of lust and envy. Um, but it's like in your sort of insatiability, like, I want that and I want it now. The Queen of Wands is like, I want that and I want it now. And the Queen of Wands is married to the King of Wands, who I feel like has the energy of going to burn down an entire village for one thing, because the person wasn't going to give it to him. And he wanted it, so he did whatever it took to get it. Because that's kind of sort of the energy of the King of Wands to me in its shadow. It can be a disregard for other things to get what you want, because Wands is the suit of desires. And so she's married to the man that'll make it happen, regardless of if they go about it the right way or not. And so on the pride side, it's like someone may be getting a little stuck in the energy of like, I want this, and to get that, it's going to take time. I don't want to wait time. I don't want to wait for it. And so I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get it right now. And then whatever you got to do to get it, or whatever space you're in to get it, may not necessarily be that great. And then over here is the Hanged Man, the outlaw, the Ten of Wands, and this Pride card. So I feel like, again, I'm feeling this Pride card as a sort of disharmony and a disconnect. It's like there are these dividers in this column of liquid, right? And so you like have all of these different colors, and then you have these dividers in. And the dividers, the purpose of the dividers is to keep these from mixing, when in reality, maybe we should pull them out and let them all blend together so we have a fully functioning, flowing system. That's how I'm feeling it this time. And with this Ten of Wands here and this outlaw right here, it's like, be careful how you go about getting the things that you want, even on the spiritual sense. Because with this outlaw, if you do something to be outlawed spiritually, that may be something that you carry with you for lifetimes. And that's clarified by this Page of Wands and this Reaper, right? And that could be you coveting the wrong person, going after the wrong person, going a little bit too far to get your desires. Maybe you don't know what you're doing, but you did it, right? If you break a law, regardless of whether you know that it's a law or not, if you broke it, you broke it, right? When you go to trial, they don't try you to see, like, did this person actually know what the law was, or did they actually not know? Like, no, when you go to trial, it's like, did this person break this law? Yes or no? Right? I was on a jury once. It was so interesting, the difference between innocent and not guilty. Because the case I sat on, and we're told that, like, as a juror, like, you're being asked if the charges being brought up against the person are accurate or not. And it was like, honestly, it's like, first of all, it wasn't being asked of us, but it's like, I'm not going to say that this person wasn't involved in some way, but they didn't prove without a shadow of a doubt that this person did the thing that they accused them of. And then, like, this literal cop came in there. I'm not going to go too far into it, but like, this literal cop came in there, and it's like somebody tried to say that somebody was somewhere on a certain night, and they called the police, and they reported all of the people that they saw because they knew the people. And the person wasn't in the initial lineup. So I'm like, if y'all initially reported this person as a conspirator, like, they got all of the other people, but like, if y'all initially reported this person as a conspirator, they would have also been on the lineup with the other people. So, like, I'm not going to say that the person wasn't knowledgeable or aware that this was going to happen, but for what y'all are charging this person with, like, no. Right. And I feel like it's kind of sort of, I don't know where that came from, but maybe it's like somebody thinks that they're kind of like getting off on a technicality or getting off somewhere else, or because you escape this thing, that it's not going to blow back in this other way. But the Reaper is coming for this Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands, oh my gosh, look, he's literally going that direction. I said him like this because so on this side, I'm leading with the SKT, and then I have the Pride cards. And then to gap it with the cards at the bottom of the deck, I have the Pride and then the SKT. So this is someone acquiring something in a means maybe they didn't know, but the Reaper is coming, and he's coming to collect. The Reaper is coming to either collect or to reward. Because on the flip side of this, it could also be positive, right? It's like, we know that you've wanted this thing, and we know that you've been waiting for this thing. And although you face significant temptation with this corruptor. We've seen you leave all of these cups, and there's this inherent energy of the Eight of Cups behind this, where it's like you were told to leave with the Eight of Cups and you left, right? So it's like we've seen you walk away from all these other cups, and we are now going to award you with increasing your manifestive ability. So now your wait times are going to be shorter because you're going to be given the ability to manifest things a little bit quicker because you've proven that you can handle that level of responsibility. And then on this side, it's like this Reaper coming for this Page of Wands is like you being imparted with the knowing and understanding of be careful of your intentions and be careful of the way that you feel about other people, because there are certain gifts and abilities that once you're permitted access to them, there's a certain level of consciousness that you need to have while in that realm, while engaging those abilities, right? Like if your manifestive ability increases where you have to wait less, it's like be careful of what you think about people. Cause like let's say someone cuts you off in traffic and you're like, oh, like why did that person just cut me off? I wish like somebody would come and like hit them or something like that. And then they get in an accident, right? Like now you can begin to understand while there's where in some areas there may be an importance for a certain level of control with what you do. And if you've um what's the word? Not exuded, exemplified, if you've shown exhibited, if you've shown that you have the control, then you'd be permitted and granted to those spaces. But it's like, know that you can't be doing this Page of Wands sort of like manifest the magic tricks anymore. You need to be, and there's a lot of heart and there's a lot of connection. And then that's where this could flip, right? It's like you've gone through this significant journey. You've gone through, carried all of these wands this far. You understand the importance of each sector of this, and because you understand the importance of each sector, you know how to utilize them. So there's a background temperance energy. You know how, because temperance is alchemy and magician, temperance and magician energy. But you know how to use them in equal parts to get what you want, and that's this hangman ability, right? Because Odin dangled himself from the world tree to read the runes inscribed on it and to learn magic. That's this enlightenment down here with the sun and the moon. That's the power of Neptune, the power to make dreams reality. With this snake, it's like, but there are certain things that needed to be shed first because you don't get that level of ability. Like, you don't give it to children. I wouldn't give a child a chainsaw. You know what I mean? And so, like, this energy works both ways. If it resonates, it may not resonate either way for you. And it's like you're still sort of in the in between. I feel like those are two very extremes of that spectrum. And so maybe it is a spectrum. Like you'll fall somewhere along the line. Either you'll begin to see an increase, but just know that if you begin to see an increase in your manifestive ability, it also comes with the responsibility of maintaining your vibration at a certain point, especially when it comes to other people. And if you can't do that, it's like know what you have to step away from, because there's a certain space that may permit itself, it may permit you entry to it, but know that when you're in that space, you're working in that space. And when you're working in that space, it's a clean zone. No cell phones, no this, no that, nothing. And I feel like the reason why that's so heavily gate kept and guarded is because they're removing the buffer on that. And if you misuse that, that is I don't even know. I don't even know how many lifetimes of whatever that's going to be. Or you may just reach the point where you never get that again. Okay. And so the last four cards that came out, we have the Messenger from the Pride deck. And then again, it's the Shining Dew, Knight of Cups, the Malaise, Knight of Wands, and the New World Order, the World, with this Messenger. The Messenger is the Hierophant. Oops, excuse me. The Messenger is the Hierophant, right? The Messenger brings the message from above to the masses. And so all is going to be revealed in this new world, right? what you really fought for is going to be revealed, because this shiny, it's the only unicorn in the deck. But, you know, a unicorn will protect itself with that horn if it has to. And so there's the energy of, because Pegasus and the vice versa appears on the Eight of Wands. And they say that Pegasus is a bringer of divine retribution. Now, either Pegasus is coming to reward you, or Pegasus is coming to dish out some punishment. You've already planted the seeds. You've already been fighting on the battlefield. However you come out is how you come out. Oh, wow. And so the Empress and the World are at the cut. I was looking at I haven't seen the World card in this deck yet. That's why I'm like, what is this? The Empress and the World card came out at the cut. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I'm going to go to the bathroom because I've been drinking a lot of water and I have not gone to the bathroom. But take it as it resonates. And I mean, that's like, I feel like that's everything I've been saying, though. Temperance at the bottom of the deck as I put this away. And the Two of Swords at the top. I feel like either way, don't be afraid to claim your prize. Because you've already played all the games. You've already collected all the tickets. And you've already handed your tickets over at the prize counter, right? So don't be afraid to claim it. If it ain't good, if it's not great, claim that mess with just as much fire and tenacity as you was trying to take and steal from everybody else. And at the same time, if it is amazing, don't shy away from it. Don't allow the old you to get you to think so little of yourself that you don't claim everything that is being presented to you, because either way, you're getting what you deserve. And if you deserve something amazing, I would hate for you to not claim it. Bottom of this deck is the Archangel of Mysteries. This is the Archangel who illuminates the shadow. This is the only Archangel who is permitted to walk the heavenly realms and the lower realms and the realm of man. She's got full access to all of those realms. So she didn't sing you. Top of the deck is the Destroyer, Kali. So, but Kali only, like, Kali was literally born, literally created, literally manifested to combat evil. Like, that's what she does. And so if Kali is coming for you, then bad boys, what you gonna do? You gonna take that beating. Let me stop. Okay, no problem, Yoshi. I hope that everyone has a great day. I mean, and we are in especially trying times right now. And so just because, and I've been hearing so many people say that, like, there are people in third world countries, there are like Anne Frank and the people in the attic who, like, when they were up there and when they were in hiding, they were still finding ways to love each other and to enjoy each other. On Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, they still had Christmas when they were in the bunker and they gave each other presents. Even though it was like, what, October? No, it was like the summer when they thought it was Christmas. It's like, I don't know. I mean, everyone is saying it, so I don't have to repeat it. But we're coming into this time where a lot of karmic justice is being dished out. And so, honestly, in my dreams have been quite peaceful lately. I feel like there are a lot of times when I come into these, like, super contentious, like, I'm fighting this and I'm fighting that and I'm trying to protect this person and trying to protect that person and I'm trying to empower people, but they're not getting it quick enough and the enemy is at our doorstep, so I'm just going to have to step up and fight this by myself. But honestly, I haven't been doing any of that lately. And, like, I'm not jumping in front of nobody else's karma bus. I can't fight anyone else's battles. Like, this is sink or swim time for us as individuals. And so continue the fight. Stay in good vibes. And, oh, it's 11:11 Eastern. Look at that. No, it's 10:11 Eastern. I keep forgetting that my laptop is already on Eastern time. And so I add an extra hour anyway. But I'm going to shut this down here. No problem. All of the best. love and light and healing and peace and clarity. And let's keep our hearts open at this time, because a lot of things are fighting for your attention and fighting for you to give up on what it is that you actually want. And I know that the world, like, there are things happening in the world, there are people losing their lives. And I don't want to diminish or take away from that at all. But at the same time, it's like, don't let that stop you from having a dream or having hope or trying to find love in the places and in the spaces that, I feel like it's still a possibility. All right. I gotta go to bathroom. TMI, I know, but I gotta go.